Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd and Julie Chrisley's pardon and release from prison. Chrisley Knows Best was a reality TV mainstay for many years. Todd Chrisley and his family's outrageous personality, Southern charm, and never-ending drama drew viewers in. However, the show abruptly ended after 9 triumphant seasons when Todd and his spouse, Julie, were found guilty of tax evasion, bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United. The post-Todd Chrisley drops truth. Chrisley Knows Best Season 10 was meant to be his last, appeared first on Soap Opera Spy. The world of reality television has always thrived on drama, but few stories have taken such a cinematic turn as that of Todd and Julie Chrisley. The famous stars of Chrisley Knows Best went from living in luxury to facing the harsh realities of prison life. For over a year, headlines chronicled their time behind bars, their family's struggles on the outside, and their children's fight to keep their legacy intact. But on a sunny September morning, something unthinkable happened. Todd and Julie Chrisley walked free. Not because of time served, not because of a technicality, but because of an official presidential pardon. The news swept across social media like wildfire. In Nashville, fans gathered near their family home. In Atlanta, reporters scrambled to piece together how a couple so polarizing could have convinced the highest office in the land to grant them forgiveness. For some, the decision was political theater. For others, it was justice. But for Todd and Julie themselves, it was redemption. The first glimpse of freedom. When the prison gates opened, Todd Chrisley stepped out first, his hair noticeably grayer, but his posture still commanding. Julie followed moments later, her soft smile revealing both relief and exhaustion. The cameras waiting outside captured the moment, and in an instant, the couple's release became one of the most talked about events of the year. Todd looked up at the sky, his voice breaking as he muttered, "I never thought I'd see this again so soon." Julie reached for his hand, whispering, "We're really free, Todd. We're really free." It was the first time in months they had touched each other without the cold separation of glass and prison regulations. Their reunion was brief, but deeply symbolic. A presidential twist. The pardon itself shocked legal analysts. The Chrisleys' tax evasion and fraud convictions had been headline fodder for years, and while their legal team had worked tirelessly on appeals, few expected clemency. Yet, according to insiders, the decision stemmed from an unusual combination of public support, behind-the-scenes lobbying, and a cultural recognition that the Chrisleys had, in many ways, become symbols of both American excess and resilience. Rumors swirled that Savannah Chrisley, their daughter, had played a crucial role. For over a year, Savannah had been a fierce advocate for her parents, running her own podcast, speaking to lawmakers, and campaigning on social media with hashtags like #FreeTheChrisleys. Her relentless efforts, some say, caught the attention of political aides and eventually worked their way to the Oval Office. The family reunion. Savannah was waiting just outside the gates when her parents emerged. Tears streamed down her face as she ran into their arms. Chase, their son, followed closely behind, and the family embraced like they hadn't in years. "Mom, Dad, home is waiting," Savannah whispered, holding Julie tightly. The reunion was both joyous and bittersweet. During their incarceration, Savannah had taken on the role of guardian for her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. She had carried the weight of holding the family together. Now she could finally hand that burden back to her parents, but she also knew life would never be the same. The press conference. Later that day, Todd and Julie held a press conference at a Nashville hotel. Dressed simply, Julie in a pale blue blouse, Todd in a tailored but understated suit, they addressed the world. "We are not the same people who walked into prison," Todd began, his voice steadier than expected. "We went in broken, but we are coming out stronger. We've had time to reflect, to grow, to pray, and to understand what really matters." Julie added softly, "I never stopped believing in God's plan for us. Even in the darkest moments, I knew our story wasn't finished. Today proves that faith and perseverance can carry you through anything." They thanked their children, their fans, and, most surprisingly, the president who granted them pardon. Though careful not to make political statements, they acknowledged the gravity of the decision. Public reactions. The country was split. Some celebrated their release as a story of resilience, forgiveness, and second chances. Fans flooded social media with supportive messages. "Welcome home, Chrisley's," and "the best reality show comeback ever." Others, however, criticized the decision, pointing to countless individuals serving long sentences for nonviolent offenses without the benefit of fame or political connections. Legal experts debated whether the pardon set a dangerous precedent. But if the Chrisleys had learned anything during their time away, it was that public opinion was as unpredictable as fame itself. A new chapter. Todd and Julie returned to Nashville under heavy media attention. Their family home, once filled with cameras for reality television, was now the center of speculation about whether they would return to the screen. Producers reportedly circled immediately, offering everything from a comeback season of Chrisley Knows Best to a docuseries chronicling their prison journey and release. Todd, ever the businessman, didn't rule it out. "Our story is far from over," he teased. Yet for now, their focus was on family. Julie insisted she wanted to spend quiet evenings at home, cooking for her children and catching up on the life she had missed. Todd, while still charismatic and sharp, admitted he was humbled by the experience. "The lights, the cameras, they don't matter as much anymore," he said. "What matters is us together, moving forward." Behind closed doors. Freedom did not erase the scars of prison life. Both Todd and Julie admitted privately that they struggled with nightmares, anxiety, and adjusting to a world that had moved on without them. They were determined, however, to use their platform to advocate for prison reform. Julie told a friend, "So many women I met behind those walls don't have a voice. I want to be that voice now." Todd, in his usual bold tone, promised to tell everything in a forthcoming memoir, "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly." Legacy rewritten. Their pardon and release marked a turning point not only in their lives, but in reality television history. Once symbols of wealth and Southern charm, the Chrisleys had been humbled by the justice system, only to rise again with a second chance. Their children, once cast members of their show, were now grown and resilient, proof that the Chrisley family bond had endured the harshest of trials. As Savannah put it best in an Instagram post hours after their release, "They tried to break us, but the Chrisleys don't crumble. We rise, we fight, and we come back stronger than ever." And with that, the world waited to see what Todd and Julie Chrisley would do next. Would they retreat into private life, or would they step back into the spotlight that made them famous? Whatever their choice, one thing was certain: the Chrisley story had entered a new, dramatic, and unforgettable chapter.